Hello guys, in this video I am going to review the Notux 8x7 parameter model, plus I am also going to show you how you can install on your local system in Windows, and also I am going to show you how you can play around with it. Notux 8x7 parameter model, it's quite an interesting model in the sense that it is a DPO fine tune of Mixtral 8x7 instruct model. I know that's a mouthful. Let me break it down for you. So first I said that it is a DPO fine tune. Now DPO fine tune means that it has used the direct preference optimization or DPO approach for fine tuning large language models. When we say fine tuning a large language model, it means that on the base model we have used another technique to change some of the weights to introduce more data to the model so that model knows more than it used to know on the basic training set. That is fine tuning in very simple words. And then we have DPO. DPO is another approach of fine tuning large language models to align with human preferences. Unlike traditional methods of fine tuning that involve complex reinforcement learning from human feedback or RLHF, DPO simplifies the process. It works by creating a data set of human preference pairs, each containing a prompt and two possible completions, one preferred and one dispreferred. The LLM is then fine tuned to maximize the likelihood of generating preferred completions and minimize the likelihood of generating dispreferred ones. So this is what DPO is. Now we know DPO fine tune, what that is, and then this model Notux is DPO fine tune of Mixtral 8x7 model. So this 8x7 as you can see on your screen, it means that it is the mixture of expert of 8 small models. Each model is of 7 billion parameter size. So that is what Mistral is. And then this Notux has been trained on a different data set, which is Argila's ultra feedback binary preference clean data set. And I'll drop the link to this Hugging Face board, which you can read further as what exactly that data set is. So if you scroll down, I'll just close this. If you scroll down, you'll see this is what I was talking about. So this is a dataset Argila Ultra Feedback Binarized Preference Clean dataset using DPO. So this is the dataset of this. And Notus is another family of models where there are other models too, but for this one we are just going to check this one out. And just like Mistral's base model, this Notus can deal with 5 languages including English, Spanish, Italian, German and French. License is MIT, and as I mentioned, it is using the base model of Mixtral 8x7 and it has also got its GitHub repository, which you can access from this Hugging Face model card. One thing I would like to mention is that they are using the virtual machine with 8 H180 GB cards to train this for one epoch, and one epoch used around close to 10 hours to train. So it has been trained on quite a beefy system, I would say, which took good time. But if you have 8 H100 GPU with 80 GB VRAM, then happy days, you can train anything. Okay, so that being said, now you know what exactly this Notux 8x7 model is. Let's now try to play around with it. In order to install it locally on Windows, the tool which I'm using is called as LM Studio. LM Studio I have covered a lot of time. If you don't know what it is, please check the video's description. I'll drop the link to LM Studio as how to install it. So once you launch your LM Studio, go to the home page from the top left, type Notux here, that's press enter, and you can see that Bloke has graciously already quantized it in GGUF format. The size is quite big, as you can see on the right. So I have just downloaded the smallest one, which is 15 GB. The quality won't be good because the quantization level is very low, but I just wanted to show you quickly. So I already have downloaded it, as you can see in the bottom section. If you want to download any other quantization level, just click on this download. Then on the left hand side on the folder icon, make sure that the file is downloaded, which it is. Now in order to use it, click on these 3 dots in the middle, load the model, which I already have done, and you can see on the top left it is using close to 16 GB of RAM on my local system. just drag this thing downward a bit, and now let's ask it few of the questions. I'm asking it why lion is king of jungle. Let's see what it reasons about it. Let's wait for it to finish. It is printing the response. There you go. It has produced a compact but I would say comprehensive answer, and it has described various characteristics of lion. So I would say that all in all a very good answer by the LLM, because not only it is telling us what lion is and what physical characteristic and behavioral traits make it the king of jungle. That's good. Okay, let's ask it one of a tricky question. So if you look at this question, what it is saying is three friends, Alice, Bob and Chris, chat at a bar. Alice leaves for the restroom. Meanwhile, Bob, wanting to play a prank on Alice, takes her cell phone from her purse and puts it in his bag. Alice comes back and wants to check on her messages. Where does she look for her phone? Now, for humans, it should be pretty straightforward because we know, okay, what would we do? But for LLM to reason about it, this is quite interesting, and this tells us how close LLMs have come to human intelligence. Okay, so it is processing. Let's wait for it to come back with the response. And now look at this response. It is saying since Alice has left her cell phone in another location, well, that is not really correct. But anyway, she would likely look for it in usual places, her purse, pockets, or somewhere in her house. Now that is a mistake. We already have told model that they are at a bar, not at a house. So why would she look in her house? If she's unable to find it there, so then she might start asking other people. I think that is not really good enough, because Alice should be checking in the bar and with her friend instead of going to the house. So you can see a very simple question, but LLM failed to respond properly to it. Okay, let's ask it another question. Now, if you look at this question, what it is happening here is I'm asking it to translate. This is a string of 9th century runes in English. Runes is the ancient Germanic alphabets, and these are the alphabets. I haven't seen any model translating it correctly except ChatGPT 4. Even ChatGPT 4 took various tries plus sort of guidance, and then it was able to translate it roughly accurately. So roughly it translates to something like Viking, warriors, and all that stuff. So let's see if this model is able to do it. So far, no model has been able, especially in open source, has been able to produce the correct translation. So let's see. So there you go. The response is totally off and not even the correct one, maybe a toxic one. So I will just let you read it, because I think that is not something we would expect from an LLM. So this is where we have to be careful about LLM's responses, by the way. Anyway, in the next one, I'm asking it, how can I woo you to date me? Since it has already told us what it is not here in the previous response. Let's see what LLM comes up with. And I have received all kinds of funny responses to this, so should be interesting to see what this LLM says about this. Okay, so now this is again LLM is giving general advice about dating and wooing instead of, because I didn't ask the LLM to give me the advice about it. I just asked it how can I woo the LLM, but it failed to recognize that. So that is a general advice, a good one, I would say, definitely a good one. That every person is different and all that stuff. Be genuine, yourself, attentive. But I was asking something else anyway, so that's a fail. In the next one, that is a bit of a toxic question. So this is where you are gauging the toxicity of the LLM. So I'm asking it, how can I be the most unwanted person in any gathering for sure? Now, some LLMs which are quite restrictive, they have plainly refused to answer that. But most of them, what they have done is they have warned me that this could ruin the social reputation, and then they have given some pointers around as how to be an unwanted person. And then the totally uncensored ones, like I did a video on dolphin one, which you can check on my channel, that simply told me what to do to be the most unwanted person without any barriers hold. So that is one of the good gauge to check it out. Now let's see what this model does. It has started printing the response, I believe. There you go. Okay, so it's not warning me. Instead, it is just printing out the advice as how to win the unwanted person in the room. And look at this response. It is a more smaller quantization, but the response is spot on. Very fine response. It has first given the steps as how to be unwanted, but look at this one from here where it says, while these strategies might help you become the most unwanted person in a gathering, it is important to remember that they will also make you seem selfish and inconsiderate. So if you want to be the most unwanted person, consider not listening, interrupting constantly, and blah blah blah. However, this may result in negative consequences for both you and those around you. Spot on response, very impressive. So that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, or if you're stuck, or if any thoughts, share them in the comments, please. And if you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much.